When do we go? Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ulysses Planning Board meeting for November 5th, 2024. First order is a roll call of the board members.
Jeff McDonald,
Art Gregg.
Linda Little, Chair,
Simon Bernard,
Bill Klein.
and Carl. Carl, are you?
he's muted.
Yeah, you're muted if you can speak, but Carl's here to do. All right, for tonight's agenda, we have the following items. First, approval of the October 1st meeting minutes, a privilege of the floor. For new business items, we have the following item, the Lex new detached dwelling unit sketch plan review. For old business items, we have the following item, potential zoning code amendment related to streams. And then followed by board member reports. Any discussions or amendments to the agenda? Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve.
second,
I'll second.
okay, Bart seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. As, let's see, for a quorum. Carl can.
No,
Carl-
we have. four.
Yeah, four of us.
Yeah.
So we're good. Okay, just checking to make sure. Has everyone reviewed the draft minutes for the October 1st meeting? Okay, any corrections? They were very short and sweet, Molly. Nice job. Do I have a motion to approve the draft minutes?
Yes,
A second.
well, please go.
You please, it's okay.
Mo and second Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first item is a privilege of the floor. Privilege of the floor is the portion of our board meeting where members of the public may make general comments on items that are not related to items on tonight's agenda. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on items not on tonight's agenda? And looks like we don't have anyone else in the audience, so it's just here. But you all look like you're part of the project, right? Okay. So a motion to close privilege of the floor?
I move that we close the privilege of the floor.
I'll second.
No seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So for the new business items, we have the Lex new detached dwelling unit sketch plan review. The applicant and property owner, Aaron Lex, proposes to construct a new detached dwelling unit located at 1332 Taganic Boulevard. The project site is located in a designated Tompkins County unique natural area, so requires planning board review and approval for the site plan. All right, would you all someone like to talk about the project?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Ron Lex, and my wife Gal is there.
Hi.
Nice to meet you tonight. So as you said, we have a plan to build our family home, our single family home for us and our boys at our lot, which is accessible actually from Garrett Road.
Mhm.
And we have an 8-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, and a big Newfoundland, and that's pretty much who we are. And we obviously read all the rules, and we plan to follow all the CZ zoning requirements with no exception. And we love the natural area there. That's where we got this lot. So we do plan to preserve and maintain all of it as much as possible. We did hire Andrew Shriver, engineer, to help us develop our stormwater plan as well as some other practices this early in the process. So Andy is here to answer any questions that Gal and I really cannot. Okay, if that makes sense.
Okay,
I think that's pretty much my introduction. I don't know if you have any specific questions at this point.
anyone on the board have questions for them?
Well, we'll wait for the explanation. You have
Okay.
that?
Okay, well, yeah, so this is a topographic survey of the entire housing lot prior to subdivision. So parcel's been subdivided, so the orange area is the property that Alexis now owns. They have access through the green area through an access easement. And the area that they're planning to build a house is the blue area here. So they're trying to stay on the upper half of the lot where the grades are
Mhm.
flatter. It is in conservation zone due to some steep slopes that are in the eastern portion of the site. Slopes coming from the road to about halfway through the site are in the 6 to 12% range, not in the 12 to 20% range.
Mhm.
So driveway access, which could become a shared access to the balance of that property, would come through the green area, come into the Lex property and serve the house.
Okay.
This was not in your packet. so
Right.
brought that up.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
it's
some
a
of you went out there to walk it.
good broader.
Thought it'd be helpful to kind of show.
The question on the access was, yeah.
And there are streams, this stream here in the southeast corner of the site, that is a classified stream. That's like 100-foot buffer, but we're like 500 feet away from that stream.
Right.
This is an intermittent stream that crosses through, so we're staying 50 feet away from the stream banks. Within the development. And then Hunts County Health Department already approved a septic system. That'd be 100 feet away from any of the streams as well. So that was reflected on the plan that you have in your packet.
Mhm.
You know, this plan, which has the gradient drainage showing how we'll grade the property. We also show the setbacks well within any setbacks. Nice, we have like 12.3 acres, so not have to worry about being too close to the setbacks. But we also included all the stream setbacks just to show that meeting those regulations.
Mhm. It's good. Good package. I had one question, because I was reading the concrete washout. I understood that. It was gonna be along the you're putting that, is that only for construction or is that a?
Yeah, all
ongoing-
these are temporary controls. So these
Okay.
are during construction, we put up the silt fence to make sure we don't have sediment leaving the site. A concrete washout is if they're pouring the slabs, pouring the foundations. You don't want to just dump the excess concrete because you always have some left usually. So you don't want that dumped into the woods or in ditches. So put hay bales in there, a big plastic liner. They put all the concrete in there, let it dry, and then they can dispose of that as construction.
Okay, it looked like it said at the beginning of it. That it's supposed to be within 100 feet, it shouldn't be within 100 feet of a stream or wetland area, and it looks like it's within 50 when
Yeah, I
it.
believe it's the 100-foot separation is off of the larger stream, which is the classified stream. Which is way down here.
Yeah, but
stream
this
is-
one,
This is that intermittent stream,
right,
so this isn't classified, it's not on the USGS maps, so as an intermittent stream, the way I guess I'm interpreting the regs is we only have to be 50 feet from the stream bank. And I would just ask for, clarification.
yeah, I thought, okay,
I mean, none of these
Wasn't it-
streams are mapped. I think your current ordinance points to the USGS maps. And then this is on the DEC's website as a classified stream, but we're not anywhere, we're like 500 feet from that stream.
right, but what is the risk to that intermittent stream? By having it that as close as it is to it, because it looked like it was, so is it 50? I thought it was closer than 50, but I might have.
We have all all the improvements
You've
are
got 50 on the other side, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so all the
Was it-
improvements, the deck and the house proper is probably closer to 60 feet off. The deck is
Okay,
at the 50-foot line.
Do you need to see that?
yeah, thanks.
Shows the stream bank setback from the.
Oh, okay, okay,
And I think that buffer is there and then to
yeah,
make
okay,
sure that we have a strong vegetative buffer, so
Oh, that was-
after everything's stabilized.
yeah,
Everything sheet drains and we're not eroding any slopes. And again, that's why we're aiming for the
Yeah,
flatter slope
right.
area.
well, it's clearly the flattest spot, yeah.
Yeah, actually about 7% right within the cross section where the house is.
Yeah, right, right,
We're trying to
was-
get that.
Wondering if there was a specific reasoning for the position of the house. Is it seems like with the deck, it cuts it like close to the stream bank.
No, it's close to the 50-foot setback.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but we're not near the street bank, so.
It's pretty flat in there really when you're on site.
okay,
Yeah, the top.
but
end.
that was the reasoning, just the grade.
Well, great. I think they also, they want to enjoy, you know,
Yeah.
it's intermittent, so it's not always flowing, but you know, during times when it is flowing, that they want to be able to enjoy, you know, the sound of
Hmm.
water running through. So.
Mhm.
There's evergreens there, like a lot of these beautiful trees, so that's the other part of really living inside those woods. Yeah, they're on the other side.
There were evergreens in there?
Yeah.
I'm-
You can see the Google Maps because the only trees that clearly you can easily see, like a lot of them.
Yeah, right.
They were planted.
Obviously, I didn't get it in the right place. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
Um, Not yet. I'm looking up to see exactly what it says about the setback.
Yeah, okay.
Neil, do
See-
you write a letter to the or like recommendations? Based
Sorry, to
on,
the developer.
yeah, or the builder based on this meeting, or I'm just trying to familiarize myself with the New York State process.
So with the sketch plan review, board tells the applicant if they need any additional materials.
But like, would you write a letter for, or would we just say, it would be great
It'll
if
go
the
in the
developer
record.
could make sure this happens in case of, I don't know, development, during development or construction because of the Black Diamond Trailhead is super close.
Okay, so
So,
I think what you're saying is once. My suggestion for something like that would be for the board to discuss it during final site plan
Okay.
review and then put that as a condition.
that's what I was.
Right.
Gotcha.
But it's good to bring up now so they're aware of it as well.
Well, it's really like a construction note add on, not for them or and more like to have on the paperwork that they, or on the final site plan.
Are they gonna-
Oh,
Is
okay.
construction gonna cross?
No, it just it gets
It's
the
close at the.
the
Yeah,
trailhead to
the
the
trailhead.
construct, to the driveway is close, so.
Trailhead is here.
Yeah,
Right.
the main reason for me saying that is just. keep
People
doing
were
things,
trying
yeah.
to- yeah,
So
right.
there's likely to be access and it's a like a well-trafficked commute route.
Sure.
So,
Right,
Mhm.
okay, the question would be, that, not the major stream, the one up above. The one that's the house is closest to.
Sure.
Is there water in it now?
There's sometimes not. I guess it depends if you're renting.
Okay, so then
And
it's
especially
it's a
this-
seasonal stream.
Mhm. And it's probably not right now because we now have a
It's,
burn.
yeah, it's a
ban in
50
place.
foot,
Yeah.
it's a 50-foot
Yeah.
buffer from the bank, from the
Yeah.
top of the
Yeah.
bank.
Look
So
at the
yeah,
top
on
bank.
this topo, I interpolated the bank
Yeah.
from the contours and then we stayed at 50 feet up.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
Depending
clear
on
the house is
is 50
65.
feet away.
It's more than that. It's just
Yeah.
the edge of the deck is more than 50.
No, I have it.
The house is 50
I have-
feet from there.
I'm
Oh,
looking
just
up
showing
the-
you.
Yeah, about 65, we're actually.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
this corner,
but I'm
this
looking
one
at the
corner of the
zoning
deck.
right
that's-
now to see what it is.
It's not like a stream cut in and
Yeah.
down. It's very gradual on that side, especially down to the center line.
So
Okay.
what will become important is where the downspouts and how the water from the house is
Right.
handled.
That would be the next
That's
question.
And the decks.
Yeah.
And the decks. Okay,
Because the water cannot go into any of those streams off the house.
Well,
Because any chemicals, anything that comes off the house, if it washes into the stream, it goes down to the lake. So any of the gutters would have to go into some sort of a retention pond or a dry well.
or a swale.
So that, yeah, so that.
I know where is this listed here, because I have never seen it.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, we're not disturbing enough acreage that require permanent stormwater practices, particularly 100 acres of residential property. We would disconnect rooftops, want to get it to sheet drain to landscape areas so that it does provide some filtering and slowing down of water. But we're not proposing any filtration mechanisms like that would be required on a, like more of a commercial site.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the roof that you have, how much water comes off that roof. If you have a downspout that's facing that stream, it's gonna run right into the stream.
You want?
But
Phase
But I think that's what the
stream
buffer
down.
is for, is to make
Yeah.
sure that you've got natural vegetation between the
Mhm.
house and the stream to provide any sort of filtering, is my understanding of the buffer.
Yeah, and the other thing we like to encourage, and it's not in the rules, is a way of slowing down the water when it does come out the house the best, and so advice around that. So we'd like to see in your plans what plans you have for dealing with the water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
an option is we could manifold capture the downspouts and then usually aim them,
Mhm.
direct them directly east.
Mm.
So they're not going directly to the stream, but we're kind of on the
Right.
knob here.
Yep.
yeah,
If we do that, then we can let it drain out that way. We can't go to the septic because obviously that would be better.
Right,
than the septic.
yeah.
If we do that, then we're increasing the length of time it has to actually get through the woods spread out.
That's exactly
That-
what we want.
That being,
Okay.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, and
And can you put that on the plan?
yeah, so anything you folks want next submission, we'll.
That's the
we'll
only
add that to
thing, that's the
drawings.
only thing, especially on Lake Shore area, that's the
Yeah.
only thing we're concerned about is the runoff. So if you can just show where the water will be going, that's fine.
so how, okay, so I noticed that the driveway is directly down the slope that it has. How are you gonna manage the water so that the driveway doesn't become a stream? At the end of the day, how do you mitigate that?
may I ask a clarifying
Sure.
point first? What is the elevation difference between the property line and say the garage or the turn in the driveway?
The elevation difference between which property line?
The one on the left, so the entry.
Like here?
Yeah,
Yes.
that one,
Okay, so
right,
You just need
Yeah.
to control the
Yeah, these are 2 foot contours.
Okay.
630, so 620, we're around 610. So
20
this is
foot?
about, yeah, about,
So maybe 20 foot of difference across that span,
was 400 feet of driver or something like that.
yeah, we're.
just
about-
to give you a
Yeah,
sort of.
right.
Six
The
to
20
12
feet, yeah.
The intention with the driveway is just to basically follow existing grades,
Mhm.
cut in, just build it just above, because we're not creating these concentrating swales.
Yeah.
You can run into on a lot of these properties with slopes, if you concentrate,
Yeah.
then we have erosion. So
Right,
instead of
exactly,
putting
yeah.
water bars in like you would do on some of the lake properties and that, if we can, just have it sloping to the inside, we're gonna be just above grade and let it just kind of sheet off, and continue down the hill. So it's not erosive, it's the intent.
Okay, so you're, okay. So at the very bottom, what was the
So you need-
picture up here? The so what is that?
The culvert.
Is it, yeah, the culvert for?
Yeah, we put a culvert there because we may end up down to the driveway turning into the side of the garage. There may be a section where we are gonna have some water that's gonna get trapped inside. which
Oh,
we should be
okay.
draining that through. We do a check dam on the opposite side of that, slow the water down. Cause that's really the only concentrated point. that
Yeah,
we're
right.
gonna have.
Okay. So the expectation is that there's enough vegetation and everything on the other side before it hits the septic?
Yeah,
or-
so kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it should,
Actually, we've got acres and acres of vegetation. we don't
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
touch. Yes.
yeah, and it looks relatively flat there.
Yeah, about 7%
This game.
slopes. It varies throughout the state.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of flattish.
The only thing I thought about when we were down there and you were talking about how much you want to save is, when you start excavating for the house itself and for the driveway, you're gonna have a pile of dirt.
Yeah.
That you're gonna have to have on
Yeah.
site and
Yeah.
take care of, where you're gonna have to haul out as you're going, or you're gonna.
I mean, we definitely gonna have a plan for that, and I think that's part of the permit. I think the next step would be, like, that will all be included there. Yes.
That's when contractors get it.
That's also part of the erosion and sediment control.
Yeah,
I think there's enough natural vegetation on site to really mitigate a lot of excess runoff unless there's, some noxious chemicals, but. It's single family home, so don't expect anything out of the ordinary.
No planetary. So,
Is it gonna be single story or is 2 story?
It's 2 stories, and I think right now the roof is planned to be metal, like the seamless, I think. That's the plan, but we're not there yet, right?
Oh, okay,
We wanted to get this approved before we start paying architects, you know?
sure. Oh, yeah,
It's
the
scary.
concept is
Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah.
yeah, right,
Yeah. Start with engineering a little bit, but you know,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. So do we wait until they get, if we approve the basic site plan? But we won't, so because they don't have the design of the house yet, you don't know where the downspouts or that kind of thing go. How do we deal with that? I mean, we have to wait to do final approval till we have that, correct?
Well. When do you plan on starting to build? In the spring?
I think the plan is either spring or early summer
Oh, okay, okay.
to build, but the road we might wanna start if we could a little bit like early spring. To have access there because that would definitely help, having like NYSEG do the line and to have electricity there for the builders.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
So they're not in a big rush, so we could ask for
yeah,
a final plat with.
with the house
everything, yeah,
plans,
with that.
yeah,
We have basic house
No, no,
plans.
but I guess let me just kind of like reiterate what I said before, we give a big chunk of money to have the house plan, and we don't wanna do that before we have this approved, because obviously there is a risk that we don't get approved, and then our money is tied
Mhm.
somewhere,
Mhm.
so.
I think we can add to your point.
Yeah.
I can put a note in that requires that all downspouts be connected and I'll show where they're
Mhm.
discharged to.
Yeah,
And that's pretty irrespective of the final geometry of the
Mhm.
house.
Yeah.
If that's my aspect.
And that, whatever you put for the footprint is the actual plan of the house, okay, so that is the footprint will not go up, it can only go down. But we might do a 2-car garage instead of 3, but like. If he adds that for the water, I think that would be as pretty much as close as we can be to the actual thing.
okay, so the 33 square feet cover includes the deck? Or is it more
Includes the
than,
garage.
It's a residence.
Includes the garage, yes.
does it include the deck?
I don't think that's included.
It isn't, I thought it was for,
It doesn't have a roof, so.
No,
Yeah.
no cover.
oh, for the, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so there's,
Yeah.
you know that for a fact.
Yeah.
At
That's
this
what
stage.
any check, yeah. But either way,
No,
just
I
to
mean,
be
you
clear, we-
decided you won't have a
Yeah.
roof on it, that's all
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
asking.
Definitely, no. And even if we did include that, it would be below the 3,500, that's like an important thing for us, like, we know we're gonna be below that number,
Oh, okay,
that's the number we started with.
okay. Okay,
Have you done calculations on total cubic yardage of excavation fill that might be needed?
We did some rough numbers, but we wanted to check with you to see what level of detail something like this is required. Is it kind of rough reading, just a ballpark number? Do we have to get into, this much fill, this much cut, stone, how detailed do you need it? And we can provide that to you, certainly.
Okay, so it would be everything, so any excavation fill, any sort of gradient like that, the number is 10 cubic yards. So if
We're
you're
gonna
close,
be over it. 10
okay,
cubic yards, certainly.
And,
10 cubic yards.
yeah.
Cubic, yeah, would be-
With the driveway, yeah, we
Yeah,
have
just
to
the
be over,
driveway,
yeah,
so
the driveway is a foot deep.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure, so
1,000
yeah, so it is, yeah.
could you, in your narrative then, discuss that because of the way the zoning laws are, the planning board has to have that as part of it.
I see, they have to approve that at this stage, even though the permit is not, okay, alright, so we'll add that as well, so you will know.
Add that to the narrative.
Excavation and all that.
okay.
Simon, did you want to see something on the site plan regarding the trail or your comment?
Yeah, it would be nice to have that on the note. I'm trying to look at what I actually said.
Can you put a little piece of plastic construction fence along the property line there during its construction?
Oh, for,
Just to keep the trail
Trail.
separate from the.
oh, yeah.
We can also have traffic come from one side, not both, right, so the trucks won't pass over, I think they'll be able to come from 89 for the most part.
Are you
Wait.
familiar with the Blue Book?
Yes.
Okay, did you go through it? Because you are on the lake shore, they have a lot of rules and regulations.
Yeah, for the erosion controls and everything, we're following the blue book.
Okay,
Yeah, the New York State blue book for permanent practices. You know, we're not building any of those on here, so that,
okay.
yeah.
The only thing I just wanted to ask if you could have a note for during construction of the driveway to make sure debris is free and clear of the trailhead.
Of course.
Construction, traffic, I don't know if you need to explicitly say to come from 89.
That's fine.
But
Yeah, I think you have to clear anyway, not even if there was no trail, like when you build a driveway, like the highway department, they require you to clean it all the time, like you can't have any debris, but we'll add it on for that.
And we'll put some construction events.
they require it, but it happens all the time.
So how would you do it from 89?
Garrett, house from 89. So Garrett goes kind of like, you have Perry City and you have 89. right?
But you don't have any access from 89, or do you?
Go switch.
Ah.
So Garrett Road comes here and then you don't cross the Black Diamond Trail if you go in there.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you come from the other side, then you have to cross where the black,
The intersection.
yeah, and then we would.
Oh,
pass
oh.
where traffic,
Oh, I
bicycles,
gotcha.
and-
I thought you were saying you were gonna come
No.
in from 89. but-
We did that.
Never mind.
Foot twice. No, not even that. And, okay, doing construction here, then I'm gonna add the signs.
So to your point, Garrett Road's a local road, so I reached out to Scott, he's reviewing it, if he has any comments, like, for the green stuff like that. Incorporate that into the decision.
Yeah,
Which guy, just so I know.
Scott Stewart is the town's director for public works.
Oh.
the new name.
Scott?
He got the new name and used to be the highway
Oh, right. When did they change?
just recently. Yeah. Oh, it was 10 months? Seems recent to me.
That image, does it, I see the, what's it called? The borders of the former railroad way. Does it mark where the actual trail is in the center of it? I'm just
Probably
wondering,
not, no, because these are just showing some light air contours.
Okay.
Surveyor shot that.
I was just
We
wondering
can-
what the distance was.
We can measure it from the property line. And just.
I was
try
just
to show the
curious.
Center of the trail, I'm sure, yes, yeah. I mean, this on this scale. Centers less than 100 feet center to center from where our driveway would be.
Is that right up against the trail?
Mhm.
There's one more
There's
property
another lot
between us.
after
Yeah.
us,
So
that
Maplewood.
actually is on the trail, Maplewood LLC, so that's, we actually, I mean. Our easement actually does not really sit on a trail, it looks like it, but there's another lot there. That goes back to the trail,
Oh,
it's a 48
okay.
lot.
I'm wondering if we have to ask the Parks Department about that.
Cute.
Because if that's the Black Diamond Trail right there, and that's the corner.
Yeah, but he said that there.
It doesn't actually meet it.
Meet it,
It doesn't?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Okay.
yeah. I thought it did, but
Yeah, the survey on this plan, it seems like it's kind of
The
outdated,
center
at
line of the road,
least their basement.
is that where the parcels all come together, is it the center line of the road? Okay.
They do extend to the center line.
no, that's right. There were telephone poles and stuff like that in there.
Yes,
Yeah, right,
Yeah, so telephone poles right away through further back.
yeah.
And we also have 50 foot, with a 14.5 foot driveway in there, so we can go, if that's a concern to you. We're actually hoping to go a little bit to the other side, not to be on our neighbors.
Yeah,
Like face, but that's another leeway that we do have with the driver.
so you're, okay, so you're,
It's in our
the
easement.
pole is,
So
yeah,
up
it's
here,
50
or
feet.
is it
Is
right
it an
there?
easement or is it
Actually, this,
do you own
I
the
can't
property?
tell
This is
where the actual trailhead
We can
is.
develop.
Well, the trail
and-
would be a little bit in.
You actually have the
about
whole
here, about 15 feet.
Yes,
off
we
the
have it out
original
here,
trail
but we only gonna
here.
use basically. up
Right,
there.
but I can't detail, according to, because this isn't
Yeah,
the trail,
right.
this isn't the border of the trail,
Yeah.
this is the border of the old property.
Right, it's probably up in here somewhere,
Yeah,
because this looks like a line right in here. Yeah, because that's interesting.
Any other questions and suggestions? No,
Oh, I see where it is.
so,
Here it is. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a light line, there's a line there. There's a line here and a line here. So this is the way in, going that way. So it
it
is,
does get pretty close.
yeah, it's right on. It's right on it, it says the road. This would be, that's the line. For the trail. That's their boundary. So it's right at the corner.
here, a little time out? Or what do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, the only problem would be the trailhead itself, because the driveway is coming out, and if it's coming out onto where the walkway is, where they have the stripes, that could be, dangerous for bikers or whatever.
You can ask them to make a note to ensure that the sight line is far
Yeah.
enough.
If you would, show exactly where the driveway is gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to because a lot of people just ride their bikes right across. if they
We
see-
use the trail, that's why, that's why we wanna live there, so
Yeah.
we're very aware, yes.
Yeah.
And we can add a mirror on the other side if that's something that you guys would think would help for somebody, but.
Oh, no, not a mirror. It's just that, if you come out of your driveway and somebody's coming down the trail at the same time and they don't see you, they could drive right into you, or you can drive into them.
Yeah,
So I just would like to know exactly where that driveway is gonna be and how many feet away from the trail actually it's going to be.
But I think from my understanding that it would be better for us to stick to the left side, which is farther away.
Yeah,
Than
yeah.
the right, so it's
Right.
not what originally was planned.
So if you can do it that way, that would be
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
You will add 20 something foot, like a
But
buffer, yeah?
Also,
Yeah.
there is a buffer between the walkway. We always.
There
park
is,
car
yeah.
where
Oh, yeah, we do
engineer
park on part of that.
driveways and it's
Yeah.
pretty
But
far from where.
we'll
people
show
are
it.
parked.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the driveway, it shows it more closer to the
yeah.
path. If you can move it away from it.
Yeah.
That would be, you have plenty of room to move it, and that way there won't be any
You can
confrontations
also
with
entering.
anybody on the
turning
trail.
Because you wanna be part of that, it's fine,
Yeah.
but we can do that, that's not a problem.
Okay,
It seemed to me that there was like a ditch there, so it was almost impossible.
It's very small,
Yeah,
like you can ride.
you
the
could
whole
still
walkway.
do it, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so, I mean, I wrote it.
You get it, okay,
It's a-
sure. Okay, so now we need to decide whether, they don't need a 239 review. So do we want to schedule a, public hearing
They,
for this?
they do cover 239, so the county was notified.
Oh, they were,
Yeah,
No.
so
sorry.
the earliest you can meet for final with the October 3rd
Oh, okay,
October 3rd.
or
December 3rd.
Sorry, I can't do that.
That's okay. Roll back, yeah.
That'll be great.
So, yeah.
You guys is, I mean, I
Do we-
never heard of 239.
Do we want to wait for the final
What is that?
plat before we do a public meeting?
Yeah,
Have a
I
public-
think so. I think we should look at the final.
Yeah, and have a public hearing for it,
Yeah,
but they're not in any rush, basically.
Right. yeah, so. We'd like to, before we do the public, so do we need to have a public hearing?
You're not
The-
required to,
Right,
so it's up to.
now there's neighbors right there that the easement goes through, and
And did you buy the property from that neighbor?
No, but they are well aware, obviously, we meet them all the time, so they know the house there.
But the easement,
The easement is from the owner, who is the brother, she's the sister of who we bought it from. So
Right.
The family owned it for like 100 years, I wanna say. So the easement goes on her property, the sister's property, right?
Right.
So, I mean, we met the neighbors, they're very nice, we're welcome to like talk to them. I mean, like,
Who owns the other side?
It's
The-
LLC, Maplewood LLC, there's nothing there. So
And
literally, there's
we don't-
one neighbor in this all, nothing. on
That
89,
area,
it was
right.
close to 89, across 89 on the lake, that's the guy we bought it from.
Yeah,
He's
right,
also-
I know, that's why I was thinking.
With LLC.
Yeah.
Do they have is there enough space between your property and the trail to actually, for them to have
For
access?
for the Maplewood, they
Yeah.
bought another little piece, so they actually go, I mean, they have it, they don't have a road, but their road, if they ever have one, will go on the Black Diamond Trail to go through it. So,
But they also have, piece of front line yardage on Garrett. If there was
Don't
a,
have anything on there, don't they?
no, I'm saying if they wanted a sister driveway to
Oh,
us,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's.
No, but Maplewood don't have any access from our, they don't have an easement or anything to use it.
I'm just looking at the space there. I don't think
It's,
there's
it's
enough.
hard to see, but basically there's a triangle there after the trail and they have access from there. It's all marked. So I think recently they bought it. So they could access it from there, but they will have to drive through the Black Diamond Trail to get to their lot. Unless they
Or
from
come in on
89.
89,
Yeah, on 89,
Right.
yes.
which looks like
Yeah.
it would be a real trip.
But also don't forget that the real wetland goes on their triangle here. So if anything, they will probably develop the other side if ever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
just because of that.
too. And then there's the little corner house or spot, a really tiny lot. Right at the
Yeah.
edge of your property too.
Yeah. that's
No,
on
the
there.
other end,
Oh.
on 89,
On 89?
yeah.
Oh,
Where would you say? Oh, like there? No, there's
No,
nothing. We
see
have-
where the square is?
Here?
Right there.
That's a garage.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
yeah, there is no houses in that, that's how.
That's
that
just.
that-
That's.
Wait,
the
is
real
that that
creek
little
is
place
right
that
there.
they're gonna
That's like a
convert to
serious-
a cafe or
No,
whatever?
no,
Isn't that that place that?
no, that's up further, it's on the
I
other.
thought it was at Garrett in 89.
Yeah, but it's the other end of Garrett. Yeah, no, it's not
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Alright.
nice try. That's good.
Curious.
Okay.
That's just a garage. Interesting.
Very
Okay.
survey, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Give us a-
okay,
it's a use or not.
so. I don't know. I always feel it's worth doing the public hearing. I don't know. In case
Yeah.
somebody wants to say something. It's a low cost thing and people get a chance
I don't
if anybody wants to say something.
personally don't think this has a large enough impact. To call for a public hearing.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's in the conservation area, but it's basically a single family residential development, so.
If it was commercial, no, I would say otherwise.
Well, no, we've had situations where we just had one on Jacksonville Road and Perry City Road. Where at least one of the neighbors had concerns and came to the public meeting. And I think we helped resolve it at the time because we put a condition in the plan. So if there is concerns, it kind of helps deal with the neighbor's problems. Yeah,
I agree.
so we don't reserve it to just commercial,
Yes,
so we
I
have.
agree.
Anyway, shall we? Any other opinions?
No, I think what we need is the final plat before we go
Yeah,
any
that's where
further,
it's-
and then we, if you wanna have a public hearing, then we would schedule it. If nobody shows up, then
Well, do we need to approve the sketch plan so they can?
Right. Because when when the final sketch plan comes to us,
Mhm.
that's the one that gets signed. And that's the one that they have to go by.
Yeah, but
So that
I'll say.
particular one is not the right one, and so we can't approve that one. So that's why we have to wait for the finalized. That doesn't mean we have to know where the house is or any of that, but we have to know what they're gonna be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think we should have a public hearing too?
It's like a toss of the coin because it's a residential, yeah, I mean. if you
And
wanna-
there's neighbors close.
Let's put it this way, if you wanna be safe, you would have a public hearing. If it's something that you think nobody's gonna comment on, then you don't need one. I
think
know,
let's
it's
have one.
I think we should have
It
one.
won't,
it's-
it won't take
yeah.
a few minutes. Let's
Yeah,
have one.
because if you don't have one and somebody complains later.
Yeah.
Then there's a problem, so,
Yeah.
and a public hearing. I mean, most of them go, we approve it right after the public hearing anyway.
And most people just want to know what you're doing. If
Yeah.
they do come, they
Yeah.
want to know
And,
what's going to
and
happen.
it's
Yeah.
not a big deal, it's just,
We're good. We expected that one, so.
okay.
Okay.
No issue for mine.
How much notice do we need to provide?
A week.
Oh, just a week?
Mhm.
Wow,
Okay.
that's really short.
And
But we have to wait on that
But we-
for
Excuse me,
We need to have a plat.
that and the 239, right?
The town take care of
Yeah,
all that.
but we should get comments back. I mean, if you scheduled December 3rd, we can at least use that as a starting.
would you have the, new plan, let's say, when will we do it?
December 3rd, he
Third.
said,
December third?
according to Nielsen.
But then we wouldn't have a chance to review it before. Is that okay?
Why not?
Yeah, no, I mean, the public hearing would be after we review it. He would
Right.
Bring it in, we review it, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what
Public
I meant.
hearing is after. If there's something wrong, then we would have to have it corrected, or like we usually do, that section has to be corrected before final, well, we would finally approve, but the amendment
Right.
would be if there was something they forgot to put in, we would have that amended.
Right.
But yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, the changes you asked for tonight, we can have a couple weeks here where you
Yeah.
tell me how, you know. the
When do we
latest
meet
you need
again?
to buy.
December
Very
3rd.
substantive, so I think we can
No.
get
Yeah.
it to you pretty
We
quickly.
need that,
That
what, 10
first.
days before, something like that, to
Yeah,
2 weeks before.
yeah.
So our next meeting would be the 19th.
So it's November 19th?
Yeah, we can't be on that one. We're gonna be on the
So
December
December
3rd, but
3rd,
you
okay.
need documents by November 19th.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
If you can do it all by then.
Yeah, we'll get that.
They don't let me sleep, but
No.
right now, I'm cracking the whip and going back to my office.
So do you,
Then we can do the hearing on the third.
so you want to schedule the public hearing
Yes.
on the 19th?
No,
No,
on the
it's
third.
Oh, on the 3rd?
We get the documents on the
And
19th.
we'll get the, and we'll
Oh,
have the
okay, okay,
documents
okay,
before.
fine.
so-
I thought we were gonna do it all in one day.
Just so I understand, I thought you guys want us to go over the next plan on the 3rd, and then 7 days after that, you will do the public hearing, no?
No,
No.
So at the same time, we will review the new one and have the public hearing.
no. On the 19th,
Okay.
we're going to review
Oh.
your plan.
With
and-
us?
With you,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
with you,
okay.
right.
But no public hearing.
Okay,
And then the public hearing will be on the 3rd.
got it. So within a
Okay.
week, we'll get this done, and then we'll be ready for the 19th. All right,
Okay,
we'll give the
great.
3rd, okay.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Okay, good.
Thank you very
I
much.
think that's.
Thank you all.
Did a nice plan. It came, it really done well. Yeah. You didn't miss anything.
Oh, yeah, I would like to come see the property at some point.
You can.
If-
Anytime.
So,
Yeah.
Just
I think they had
email
time, they had a hard time finding where the house was.
I'm very flexible with my work time, so.
oh, you are?
Oh.
Oh, okay,
Any day.
all right.
Also tell them you're.
Well, if you,
Yes, I bring coffee, so just so you know.
That's all right.
if you're gonna go, let me know.
Oh, all
because
right.
I'll just walk down, because I just followed the Black Diamond Trail. and
Yeah,
get
that's
there.
what I did. too.
Right, yeah.
So-
We all live on the Black Diamond Trail,
Yeah,
both of
right.
us.
So
That's
we can.
awesome.
meet
So
you,
we're
yeah.
basically neighbors.
Well, yeah, so I guess we are, but.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right, well, I'll schedule, I'll do it with Niels. I tried to last time, but I was late. It was a bad week.
Anytime.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, sorry. I gotta sneeze, I think. Oh, should we do a motion? I guess I missed that. Do we need to?
No, not until,
Special then?
no, not
No,
until we do
after
that.
we do the 19th.
Yeah, Yeah, at the 19th, we'll make
Yeah,
the public hearing. Make a
yeah,
motion to
right,
like
that makes
right now.
sense, yeah. Okay, so the next order of business is our old business, which is to look over the stream, the questions on waterways for a potential meeting with the town lawyer. And training for. Now, Carl sent out a copy of the list of questions that we have so far. Did you all get a chance to take a look at that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I do not.
Does anybody have any upgrades or suggestions? Well, what we would like to do is try to get that sealed to go off to Nate and ask him to do it. At this point. We have authorization from the town board to. I guess we have to, I think we have to go through the town board
Is,
to make the request. How is that gonna happen?
What, for the, you mean, for it to go to the lawyer?
Yeah, to go to the lawyer. Who's gonna give it to the lawyer?
is the goal for this process to decide how to proceed with the language?
No, it's
No.
more an education so that we learn what we need,
Well,
what our
I mean,
responsibilities
not just
are.
speaking, I mean, the overall process, the
Oh,
actual goal,
For-
the end goal.
I think one of the big goals is to be definitive about which map we use.
Okay.
Yeah. Because being on the lakefront, there's 1,000 little streams running everywhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't know. I mean, we don't know exactly what, if somebody wants to build a house and the stream is 2 feet away from the house, or it's intermediate, just during rain. Do they have to have a 50-foot setback?
Right.
We're not sure about that.
Right, no, I understand that. I was
Right.
just clarifying.
Yeah,
Well, in this plan, I was looking at it, like the septic system goes right up to the headwaters
Hmm.
of another intermittent stream,
Mm,
just on the map.
right,
And that's the maps. What you see on the map is what came up on the survey.
Yeah.
There's probably other waterways in there that aren't on the survey. Too. I mean, I look at my own survey, I know there's waterways on there that are not, I mean, there are waterways that aren't on that survey, so. That
Depends on the
I would
survey.
protect, pardon?
Depends on the surveyor.
yeah, right,
It does,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so it's like, what are our responsibilities? Even if we know that there's a waterway on there and it doesn't show up on the GIS, because some of these mappings have been casual.
I think it should be a question about what legal standard you want to uphold instead of what, so say the USGS are the maps that we use, but we want to actually hold the standards of what the county GIS mapper is showing. We can't really do that without just heavily suggesting.
Right,
Right
and that's been
now,
a frustration, and it's
Yeah.
been a problem.
until it,
Yeah,
unless and until they make it part of the code.
Right, so that's,
So right now, our direction is what? Just
Well-
DEC,
uh,
right?
what we've done in my experience.
Right, we've done this for years.
Yeah, we go to the site, we see it, and we make proposals to people about how they should handle it, to manage it.
Okay.
And usually people comply,
Mhm.
because they don't want to get washed away either.
Right.
So there's a lot of incentives to
Sure.
do it correctly, but if somebody were to say, no, well, like we had the conversation the last time, if somebody decides that they want that house in the middle of that stream. And I don't think we have anything we can do to tell them no.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Well, yeah, you would just reject.
we would reject the plan.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
but then, of course, then it would go to a lawyer and then there
Yeah.
would be a fight about it.
Yeah, right, good point, yeah.
So we just need direction.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
What we're going, because I mean, some of these little streams and during bad storms, there's usually dry, and then a big rain comes and they turn into a river. Where
Oh,
you
yeah.
can take a kayak down it. So,
Southwest Texas, or
Right.
New Mexico or Arizona.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where we have to be careful.
California and the whole,
Yeah.
slide goes down.
And for years,
So-
when, yeah, we would just go to we would look at the property, look at the stream. And determine, no, you can't put the house.
In the middle of that
stream.
stream.
Right, and
Right.
no, you can't divert it by putting in a culvert, because. How big of a culvert you're gonna put in? I mean, you put a 12 inch, and then when it, heavy rain, 12 inch wouldn't do it. So you might have to put in like a 36 inch, and somebody's gonna dig a 36 inch culvert around the home.
No, you build the home on top of the culvert,
on
put the culvert in the stream, and then you build the house on top of that.
Yeah, and then when it gets clogged and then has no place to go, it goes right through the front of the house.
Open the front door, open the back door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah,
Gotta require breakaway walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Florida all over again.
No,
So,
what we try to do is talk to be reasonable with
Mm.
people, like there was one on, no, which, Glenview, yeah, Glenview Road. Where there was a very substantial stream that goes through, but at the end that they were trying to build the house.
Mm.
It was not much of one, but it turns very quickly into a serious one.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, and we did a lot of work with them for what they needed to build and where
So-
they were gonna construct the access to a field that was behind it to build a
And
house.
in our comprehensive plan, do we have any guidance or suggestions for? Bioswales or sustainable development?
Not
Yeah.
really, because any of that, anything on the lakeshore side. You have to go through the blue book for the state. So anything, the lakeshore side, blue book is the law, and we can't even change that.
I didn't
Um,
know about this blue book till.
Oh, the
I
blue
read
book
it.
is very important.
There's a
Is that
meme
what's-
right there. Oh, the Yoda, right? Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue book.
No, it is.
I'm not,
I
I mean, it
believe
tells
you, I
you, it
just.
tells you everything. Like they're building a house close to the lake, they have to go by the rules of the construction of water, water runoff.
sure.
How much land they disturb, how many cubic yards they're moving, because it gets to a point when you start to move a lot of land, now you have to get another permit from the
Right.
state.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of rules and regulations.
Let me say this, it feels to me, it seems to me, I think, I'll just use all the emotional words just so you can. Choose whichever, that we're making this more complicated than it should be.
Oh,
Hear
yeah.
me out,
No,
hear me out.
I agree.
What, all kinds of research is out there that says. Typically, when an organization encounters a problem, they add complexity, when really we should be looking at simplicity.
Mhm.
So given that we've had this discussion about having discussions with potential. Buyers or developers or what have you, why can't we just make it as simple as somebody declare which set of maps we're gonna use? And
Exactly.
if in the walk or the contours, we see something that's not included on that map, we then have the discussion with them about what we feel
Right.
that they ought to do.
Yeah, and that's what,
And that's
actually,
what
we've been
we've been
doing
doing.
that
But-
for years.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
but,
that's the
but
methodology, Yeah,
what I'm reading and hearing, and it's just way over.
You have no
Beyond that.
enforcement capability with that though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
that's the thing. If it's
right,
not,
you-
if it's
you-
not
Well-
codified, you can't
yeah.
Okay.
tell somebody
There
to do
is-
that if they don't.
There is an issue in that, and with water committee, we may be coming back with
Okay.
some recommendations of things that we should be doing to manage. water.
Okay.
But it has more to do with wells, impacts on wells and things, which is a kind of a different,
I won't argue,
Animal.
you know that
Yeah.
I will
yeah. sure.
battle for the water quality around here, period, okay? But I think we're taking this way too far, way too fast. I think if somebody just said, this is the map that we're gonna use, and that's the one that we can fight in court.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The rest is, let's have a discussion and see if they're reasonable until. Until there comes a point where somebody says, okay. this is the map, we're gonna, yes, we're gonna follow this map, whatever it is, GIS, DEC, whatever, okay? But if we encounter a different condition, then the town requires this, and they gotta be specific, or we can't. Because it's gotta be specific and defensible, or,
Yeah,
Unfortunately, remember, there is the state maps and then there's the county map.
right,
So which one do you follow? Do you
And-
follow Tompkins County map? Or are we gonna go with the state map?
okay,
and what is our real responsibility, which is why we're having the meeting.
right.
in May.
Yeah.
Plus,
And that-
all of us need education hours.
But now we have the problem, so if we go with the state maps. And somebody comes up, wants to put a house on, but the county says there's a stream there and we consider it a stream.
Mhm.
But it's not on the state map, but it is on the county map.
Okay,
So now what?
Yeah.
I mean, if we go by the state map, so that stream doesn't exist according to us. But the county would get involved and they would say, no, you can't do that because there's a stream there.
question,
Yeah,
is there a possibility that there could also be the flip side of that? Where the county says there's no stream or doesn't indicate
Oh,
a stream,
And
the state says there is.
It's the same
It's
thing,
more
Right.
likely
Yeah.
that the county's gonna have a lot more detail than the state.
okay, so,
yeah.
you know, or do we use an overlay of both of those?
Well, that's probably what's gonna have to happen, one way or the other, because
You don't wanna mix data too much.
I know, that
Those-
you don't
those
want to.
different definitions of what specific features are.
Right,
Right,
Well,
exactly,
the other thing too, that's gonna impact all this is the DEC, new DEC requirements as well.
and that's the big
So-
problem, is there's two different maps. And which one do we go by?
right,
Yeah. and
Yeah, I would just lean towards the county, cause they're more likely to update it more frequently and they have,
people on the ground looking at it,
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the state does it, what, every 10 years or something, every
Right.
15 years, they come by. You know, that's about what they do, but the county, you're right, they actually do, because the highway department will say. Well, we have a stream here, now they put it in, and they say, yeah, we had to put a culvert in because
there's,
we had to make a big culvert because the water was so intense.
Yeah.
So the county is probably the better choice.
okay. So again, why can't we rethink this and simplify it to start with by saying, let's choose the county? You
Okay,
know, if we're all in agreement, right?
okay,
And anything outside of that, we have the discussion with the landowner,
well, you would have to, right,
okay?
that would be the
And-
wording, right,
Right, and then if the landowner, I mean, we don't need to go down that road right now, we just need to know which map, and then we will have a discussion as part of the
So-
proceedings,
wait a minute, I
and
think
then.
I got a coin here.
Well, don't we, but we already.
The
have-
map is already defined in the
Right.
zoning as to which one you're
Right.
supposed to
That's
use,
so.
Yeah.
and it's not the county.
Okay, so,
So.
so why are we having the discussion? If we were already told this is the map you use, why are we having this discussion?
Is it,
I thought the idea was to change that. 'cause it
Yeah, I
wasn't
think we're
definitive
running,
enough.
the problem is we're running into, right, and I knew, but.
no, go ahead.
Okay,
Mhm.
You know, you're looking at one map, but then you're also, you give it to the county to look at, and the county is finding more streams.
right, right, so
So which one are you looking at it on?
maybe our
We-
recommendation is, let's just go with the damn county map and move on.
Well, we have actually, over the years, we've been on the board. We have gone through the county maps. We really didn't go a lot through this. Well, the state maps, like I said, were never updated and they
Yeah.
were hard to come by sometimes to get them.
Okay.
Yeah, the state maps, because they never updated them. So we did go by the county and we did exactly what you said. If there was something, you know, in that particular land, it could have been headwaters of a stream or something, or it could have been
A
a small
wetland.
stream, right?
Or wetland,
Then
yeah.
we would go look at it and then we would discuss it with the landowner and say, look, you know, you have to move it over, you have to be at least 50 feet away from it. And most of the time they say, yeah, okay, we understand that.
Mhm.
Because we don't want to have a problem and they don't want to have a problem.
So Niels, when you made the analysis for this one, which map?
You stay out of this.
Did
I think you used all, of them.
you-
It was all, yeah.
I thought, yeah, usually that's what we,
Yeah.
yeah, gone by and nobody seems to quibble. I mean, it seems to cover it
Yeah.
so far. Yeah, But-
Can I interject a little bit in here?
Sure.
I've
Carl.
gone, yeah, I'm still out here. Anyway, I've gone to county planning and asked them specifically about this issue. And from the deputy director of planning and sustainability says, Town of Ulysses, your code says to use the USGS maps. That's what you should be following. Tonight's land issue, when you guys were discussing that intermittent stream, if you look at Niels's detailed report, that is a GIS only stream. It does not fall under the USGS stuff. That's the reason I'm driving this whole issue. We keep stepping into this, what I consider a legal quagmire on a regular basis of using streams and requiring setbacks that we have, reading our zoning, no legal authority to impose. And if you think that 200 or 300 additional property owners in this town are going to take that many more streams without saying something about it, when you try to change the zoning, as Bart was talking about, going to the county stuff, that's the difference. There's about 400 and some properties affected by USGS. There's about 550 affected by the DEC maps. And there's about 700 properties affected by the GIS stuff. This is not a small peanuts matter. That's why I really want us to get this to town legal and get guidance from town legal where they think this needs to go. That's the reason for these questions, is to, like Linda says, for us to get educated on where our legal standing is. Because I think the way we are operating, we are setting the town up for a lawsuit. Because if you require setbacks from a stream that is not covered by our zoning, I'm not a lawyer, but it certainly jumps out to me as a simple case for some lawyer to step in and say, you owe me this many bucks because you took the land rights away from this property owner by imposing these stream setbacks that you had no legal authority to put there.
Right.
And then there's the other layer of anything where seeker kicks in. Then you add the question of impacts on those streams that are on the county map, but not the GIS map, because then they come in then. So really, all that stuff really needs to be the same to be functional.
Right.
Right.
So
If you could just-
you're
and-
saying that seeker has
In
a
the
set-
seeker guidance, the seeker has like workbooks that tell you how to figure out what to look at. And that says to use the DEC streams. The DEC Environmental Resource Mapper is what it tells you to go to figure out the streams and the wetlands, which is sort of an intermediate between the USGS stuff that's currently in our zoning and the GIS stuff that brings in every drainage ditch as an intermittent stream. That's really what I'm looking for, is to come to consensus on the questions that we would like legal to provide us guidance on. That's all I'm looking for, is a first step out of this. This is probably a 6 month to a year problem before we get to a real resolution on it. But the town board has directed the planning board to come up with a list of questions, provide them to town legal, and then when town legal is ready, because we don't want to be wasting their time in a group meeting until they've had a chance to research this, to understand what we're asking for questions. That's really what I'm looking to come out of this with.
So we can vote, or, yeah. So do we have a list of questions to go? I mean, I don't think, Bart, you were precluding that.
No.
Don't we do the,
No.
right? Okay.
No,
I didn't
but
think that.
after this conversation, I want another chance to look at those questions.
Oh, okay.
I think we're all in agreement that we need to choose, like, understand that we, right now, we are only legally required to utilize the USGS maps for what they show for streams and all other features.
Yeah, it's our only legal defense.
Two things. Your initial question that started all this off. if we look at this as a training opportunity, then. I don't think we need to go to the town board to get their approval for it. You already have,
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
you already have funding for it, so we
Okay.
can just. Once you guys are good with the questions,
Yeah.
let me know and I'll work with Nate's team to schedule. What we'll do is advise the council
Mhm.
and you can meet whenever, and we
Okay.
don't have to do public notice or anything.
Okay,
The other one, is to Carl's point of the legality, like if Tompkins can. If. The USGS map, like the one tonight. There's only one string, right, that's designated, the other one that's closest to their house, we don't. Currently recognize that as a string. But Tompkins County does. And under 239 review, they can say, hey, we think you need to have a 50-foot buffer setback. That's covered under state law, so if the county makes that recommendation to us, the town, if it adopts it, if the planning board adopts that. It's covered by state law, so you're not
Okay.
setting yourself up for a lawsuit.
right,
If you don't agree with the county, then you have to have a supermajority to override that though. So
Okay.
that's where
Okay.
you would need 4 out of 5 to say, thank you for your comment, county, we disagree.
yeah,
But if you agree with the county, you're still covered, the town is covered under state law. From,
Yeah.
in that case.
okay,
That's only if it's a triggers a 239.
Okay, so now we're talking process.
Well, you always have to talk process.
But yeah, but I mean, let's use this tonight's as an example. So tonight's as an example, the only thing that we legally had backing for was the one stream, correct?
mhm.
From the state.
Wait,
But
From
you're
our
saying,
zoning, from zoning,
USGS.
okay,
Yeah.
USGS,
yeah,
but so if we say, okay, you're good to go, and then the county looks at. That's all we can say is you're good to go based on what our mandate is and what we're supposed to rely on for mapping.
Mhm.
If the county comes back and says, hang on. This other stream needs to be dealt with. Okay, now we have coverage to deal with that, right? But it's a two-step thing, not just one and done. Right?
It's one step because the planning board should not be making a decision until
Until
after
the-
it's got its
yeah.
comments from the county.
Okay. All right, so the county would tell us ahead of time, yeah, you gotta look at both of these. And they did in this case?
They're still in review. That's why we put off the hearing until probably December 3rd.
Okay,
Do you send those letters out to Glenn? Okay, awesome.
No.
I'd like to see.
No.
I just wanna compare what. Never mind. I just like to look at those things.
It's generally really short, like.
Some of them are really long, but I imagine for a single family home, it's very short.
so is it possible that we are adding complexity to this? No disrespect, Carl. We're on the same side, okay?
That's
But
right,
is it
we're all on the
possible?
same team.
Or is it possible we are adding complexity to this when really just understanding the process better is what we need?
No, because your zoning, the town zoning code. Is messed up.
What was that?
Well,
So-
and long-term, to be fair to the citizens, the top property owners in the town, they ought to know what the rules are.
No
And they ought to
doubt.
be using the same rules that we're using. And
Right,
that's where the dichotomy is coming in now, is our publicly produced 212 rules say one thing, and we keep bringing in all this GIS nonsense that's not covered. And you do it when the property owner comes in to do something. It needs to be there ahead of time. Whatever comes out of this, whatever the final rules are, needs to be so that everybody understands what the rules are.
Yes.
right.
yeah,
It doesn't preclude us ever having a conversation with a property owner about how they should handle this stream that doesn't exist in a safe way, correct?
right.
In terms
Right.
of,
You have the
you know,
conversation,
being
but it's.
able to be
we can't make
sued,
it
kind
A
of
requirement,
Yeah, we can't make it a condition of approval or
Right.
anything like that.
right?
Yeah. But it's, yeah,
And since none of us are lawyers, that's why I'm hoping to get this into the town's legal ball field and get guidance from them, what their interpretation is. So we got at least a starting point to go from. And if we wait too long to get this in, we're gonna get into Christmas and the end of the year. And before we get a chance to talk to legal, we'll be in late January or February. That's why I'm hoping to get this moving, either this meeting or the next meeting, to get it off to the lawyers before we get into the end of the year stuff.
What would be the actual process of deciding a new mapping system or a new, like switching from USGS to the county mapper for their data?
So at that point, the planning board should make a
Make a
recommendation to the town board and then.
Okay, so
they
it's the town board is approving the, okay.
Get the decision.
That's what, yeah. So all right, so we can't make a decision tonight because you want a couple of you, some of you want to look at it more completely. Okay. We'll vote again. Sorry, Carl, we'll have to
That's
wait.
fine, no, we're all equals in this, and we need a chance to think about it. I've had a year to be digging into this mess, and so it's not fair to the rest of you. You need time to look at it and think about it. Yeah,
Okay,
for visual, if you want, behind Mo leaning up against the wall are individual maps that show the GIS stuff, that show the county, the DEC mapping and the GIS mapping. All three of them are there. You can stand them up side by side so you can look at it and get a visual picture of what the difference is.
The amount of streams here that I know.
I think tonight we had a perfect example
Hopkins County Environmental.
of it.
Oh, that, yeah, I have.
And we put a lot of weight
That's the
on,
same stream.
and, but they had already acknowledged that they should,
Stay back from that drainage swale, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm. And we've always talked to people about, one of the things that typically they don't think about is the runoff from the roof.
Sure.
And the impact.
Right.
So we try to give them advice on how to manage that. Different ways you can manage it,
We'd like to see.
right? So, Okay.
The town is working on a comprehensive plan, correct?
Yes.
Is there an environmental section, or is that
No, there will be, yeah.
too far in advance? And within those, are you? As a set of that or a subset of that, will there be like best practices for development?
Well, as the comp plan goes, the planning board can actually write a letter of recommendation for certain things.
Hmm.
So if there's things that we think is important, we could send it to the comp plan to let them review it.
Mhm.
We haven't gotten that far yet. We're not in that section right now, but when that time comes up, because each one will be separate and each one will have a open forum, won't they, for each section? So you can come to the open forum and what they do is I don't know if they'll do it with the same thing they did this time. They had boards and they had little Post-its and you would put your Post-its up on the board of what you recommended. Or you can probably just write it out and give it to the people and to the company that's doing it, and they would post it to all of the members of the comp plan. And then we would discuss it, and if it's something important, yeah, we would put it in.
so they tried to schedule an environmental one
Yes.
last
yeah.
week, right? Yeah.
I don't know what. That's coming up later.
It looks like it might be happening in November, maybe this second week.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out tomorrow then.
Mhm.
When I worked for Montgomery County Planning Commission, we made a lot of publications about things such as like green parking lots and everything as best practices, and
Mhm.
didn't require that developers use those, but we publicized them heavily and pushed people
Exactly.
towards those to
Yeah. And yes, that the comp plan would do the same thing. They can suggest.
Mhm.
And that's basically how we do all of our meetings, is we look through the comp plan to see. So the new one, yes, if there's suggestions, definitely write them all up.
And the more you publicize the kinds of things like that, that you would like to see people do, people typically, because I know they want to get approval, will go along with them just to make us happy, even if they're not really required by law or something like that. Too, like I think they did, these folks probably went over to try to make it look as environmentally
Yeah. you can
adaptable
tell
as
they care.
fair, yeah, that they really wanted to, and typically, a lot of, most people do. Yeah, the people that don't, usually don't come to us.
Yeah,
Do.
Well, we did have, on the comp plan, we have a meeting tomorrow. We did have a open forum for economic development. There were realtors there, some store owners. Business owners were
So you
there.
got a good crowd.
It's like 12 to 15.
Yeah,
Wow.
12 to 15 people.
To get input.
Yeah. And yeah, there was a lot of ideas. All the Post-its were all listed, and we get to look at them because we couldn't do it there. There were so many of them
Mhm.
to go through all of them. And tomorrow we're discussing all of that.
You'll be discussing that and then the committee itself will be doing the SWOT as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was my report on the comp plan, sorry.
Thank you. So we are right on our next. Michael, anything from the town board?
I want to put on your, well, the comp plan's going on, standing update for comp plan.
Well,
Yes.
well, I just did.
Yeah, that's what he
It's
just
not on
said.
the agenda though.
Oh, yeah, it says
Oh.
board member reports.
Yeah,
That's,
I'm specifically saying you might want to put on your agenda comp plan updates.
oh, okay,
For those of you that
Okay.
are
well,
representative of.
Neil, Neil, that would be up to you now.
very good.
Yeah, so so that the rest of you folks could hear what Morris is hearing
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the committee.
Yeah.
Right?
right.
Yeah, I'm not
that's a
there,
good
so I
idea.
can't update you.
Yes. Too. And I just wanted to bring up for one of the areas in the water, the water committee, developing a source water protection plan coming up. We're winding up trying to get the plan completed right now, and part of it is regulatory. And in that section, we hope we are identifying some things that I would like to have the planning board look at. And there are things that I would like to see at some point incorporated in site plan review that has to deal with quality and quantity of water when somebody's doing a development, the impact of it to the neighbors, because we've had people coming here all the time not all the time, but often to ask about, when somebody's like when Spruce Road was trying to expand, and a lot of people on Craft Road that were concerned about their water supply. And we really wasn't anything we could do about it. So there are ways that other communities have done things about it, incorporated kind of like the seeker process, looking at what impact would this have on neighborhood wells and aquifers, but you need to have some insight into the aquifers in the area and that type of thing.
That particular area does go dry. There are a few homes that their wells go dry in August.
Yeah.
A lot to do.
Yes.
And if we develop more, it's gonna go dry in July,
Yeah,
and
and if we have no rain or snow, it goes dry even earlier.
yeah, right.
Oh, I just had a question for Neil.
So,
During our meetings in the comp plan, the public is allowed to come?
mhm.
Can they ask questions or during the meeting?
They can, then it's up to the
The
chair.
chair,
and-
yeah. So if anybody ever wants to come to a comp plan to see what we're doing, just come. And if you have suggestions or you want to see the reports, they're all online anyway, you can see it
Yeah,
anytime.
right.
But sometimes you might want to be in the audience,
Yeah,
especially when the water comes and the environmental section comes up.
yeah, well, Rebecca's working with me on the regulatory
Those, yeah,
things, so, you know, hopefully she'll incorporate some of those
Okay.
things in it.
okay.
Hopefully she's been going to the,
And any of the forums that we have, you also,
Yeah.
they're all invited, aren't they?
yes, I tried.
No, is the public allowed to come to any of the forums?
Yeah,
So the focus groups are intended to be individuals that have expertise in those subject fields. Doesn't mean that community members can't go. kind of
Yeah,
like
just
to
to-
observe.
Yeah, just to
But-
observe, yeah.
But what the consultants are looking for, are people that have like expertise. So like Rebecca would be a great one for,
yeah,
yeah, the environmental stuff.
yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, good point, okay. All right.
Um,
Do you have a motion to?
I think I can make a motion.
Go for it, Mo.
Okay. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Michael.
He didn't have anything, yes, yeah,
I second.
or did, yeah. You did say you didn't have anything, right? Yeah. Okay. You said second?
Correct.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, folks, thank you.